Hi everybody, it's Miss Lorenz. I'm going to talk about 3.5 and 3.6. This is in the 8th grade math section, and it's really just extending our understanding of functions. So the first thing I want you to take note of are these vocabulary words here. Quantitative graph, of course we know, qualitative graph. We know that qualitative data is the data that does not deal with numbers. So quantitative deals with numbers. And so a qualitative graph would be a graph that represents a relationship but does not have numbers as part of that relationship. An interval is a period of time between two events or 2 points in time. And just like before, your input is going to be referenced with your x variable and your output will be referenced with your y variable. So let's take a look at some of these graphs as examples. So the first one is just a distance versus time graph. And of course, I just want you to remember that our x-axis, this is our input, and our y-axis is our output. We also call these our independent and dependent variables. So in this case, our distance depends on time. And so I just want you to notice sort of the two different periods of time. We have this period of time where our function is, our distance is increasing as time goes by. And then you can see how that changes, right? So the rate of the distance over time changes from this point in time to this point in time. This is also a distance versus time graph. Here we're looking at all these different intervals, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You can see that 1 and 3 are increasing. You can see that by the positive slope. You can see that 2 and 4 are constant. Nothing's happening there. The distance is staying the same as time passes. And you can see that in 5, the interval is decreasing. In the third example here, you can see that the slope is negative, and that's because we can see that's going from the left side of the graph to the right side, and it's going down. So it's a negative slope, and the function then is decreasing. And then lastly, I want to look at this example. In this example, we have Harv riding his bike from home. So this is another distance versus time graph. And he rides his bike for 30 minutes at a fast pace. And that's what we're seeing here. He's covering a lot of distance in this short period of time. So we have a nice steep slope. Then he stops to rest for 20 minutes. So even though time is passing, distance isn't changing. And that's why we have this flat line. And then lastly, he continues in the same direction for 30 more minutes, but he's going at a slower pace. And I can see that the pace is slower on this graph because the slope is not as steep as it was in the beginning. All right, I hope that helps get you going on 3.5 and 3.6. Thanks for listening.